You work hard. You stay busy. You tell yourself you're doing all the right things. So why are you still stuck? Why does money feel just out of reach, no matter how much effort you pour in? Here's the brutal truth most people never face. You don't stay broke because you lack talent, intelligence, or work ethic. You stay broke because you're playing the wrong game, and worse, you don't even know it. Money doesn't respond to hope, hustle alone, or good intentions. It responds to alignment with one core principle most people avoid because it's uncomfortable, demanding, and unforgiving. This principle forces you to confront how you think, decide, and tolerate pain. Ignore it, and you'll grind forever with nothing to show. Understand it, and everything changes. Your income, your confidence, your control over life. This isn't motivational fluff. This is a line in the sand. Cross it, or stay exactly where you are. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because you've been running hard in the wrong direction. You're exhausted from effort, from trying, from pushing, and deep down you're asking a dangerous question: why isn't it working? Or listen to me, this part matters, because effort alone has never built wealth. Sweat alone has never changed a bank account. And if hard work was the answer, most people you know would already be rich. The world does not reward effort, or it rewards value. That's hard to hear when you've been grinding, when you've been showing up early, staying late, sacrificing weekends, missing moments. You feel like effort should count for something. And it does, but not the way you think. Effort is the entry fee. Value is the multiplier. Let me say it again so it lands. You don't get paid for how hard you work. You get paid for how hard you are to replace you are. You can lift bricks all day and break your back doing it. That's effort. But if anyone else can step in tomorrow and do the same thing for the same pay, the value is capped. The market doesn't care how tired you are. It cares how necessary you are. And this is where most people get uncomfortable, because it means you have to stop hiding behind effort and start asking real questions. What problem do I solve? Who needs me and why? What can I do that most people can't, won't, or don't have the discipline to master? See, effort feels noble. Effort feels honest. Effort lets you say, at least I tried. But value demands growth. Value demands skill. Value demands that you stretch your mind, sharpen your ability, and step into rooms where you're not the smartest person yet. There was a time when showing up was enough. That time is gone. Today, the marketplace is brutal, but it's fair. It pays for results. It pays for solutions. It pays for people who carry weight. And if you're not carrying weight, you're carrying excuses. You want more money? Become Mo. Reuseful. That doesn't mean working longer hours. It means working on the right things, learning what others avoid, studying when others scroll, practicing when others complain, building something that speaks for you when you're not in the room. And here's the part that stings. Nobody owes you compensation for potential. Nobody owes you for effort they didn't ask for. The world only pays for impact. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. When you understand this, you stop begging for raises and start commanding them. You stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Because value creates options. Value creates leverage. Value creates freedom.dr. Look at your life honestly.dr. If your income stopped today, could you be replaced tomorrow? If the answer is yes, don't get angry. Get focused.br, because the same truth that limits you can liberate you. You can decide right now to become dangerous with your skill set, to become so sharp, so reliable, so effective that your absence is felt, that meetings slow down when you're not there, that problems linger until you walk in. That's value. And value is built in silence.br. It's built when nobody's clapping. It's built when you're tired, frustrated, and tempted to quit, but you keep refining anyway. This is not about ego. It's about stewardship. You've been given time, ability, and breath for a reason. And wasting that on busy work is the real tragedy. When you choose value, you honor your potential. When you chase effort alone, you bury it. So stop asking, how hard can I work? Or start asking, how valuable can I become? You built a life that feels safe, and it's slowly suffocating you, not because you failed, but because you settled. You chose what was familiar, predictable, comfortable, and comfort has a quiet way of stealing your future without making a sound. For see, comfort doesn't announce itself as danger. It shows up as routine, as stability, as I'll do it later. Burrit whispers, don't rock the boat, don't take the rye. Don't stretch too far, and before you know it, years have passed, and you're still standing in the same place wondering why nothing changed. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they aim for comfort. They optimize their life to feel good right now instead of powerful long term. They pick the job that pays just enough, the routine that doesn't challenge them, the decisions that don't scare them. And then they call it being realistic. No, let's be honest. That's fear dressed up as responsibility. Wealth is not built in comfort. Our freedom is not born in ease. And leverage, real leverage, demands that you walk straight into uncertainty. DR leverage is when one decision multiplies your effort. Comfort is when every dollar still requires your full presence. .br, comfort keeps you busy. Leverage makes you effective. And here's the tension. Comfort feels good today. Leverage hurts now, but pays forever. Think about it. Comfort says, I'll keep doing what I know. L. Leverage says, I'll learn what I don't. Comfort says, at least it's stable. Leverage says, I'll build something that doesn't break when I rest. Or most people never choose leverage because leverage requires sacrifice before reward. It demands patience without applause. It forces you to give up immediate pleasure for delayed power. And that's a trade most people refuse to make. They want guarantees before they move. Bar. They want proof before they believe. They want security before they commit. Leverage doesn't work like that. Leverage requires faith in action. Not blind hope, but disciplined belief, backed by effort. You step forward before the path is clear. You invest before the return shows up. You endure discomfort before the breakthrough. And let me tell you something real. If you need to feel comfortable to move, you will never move far. Every major shift in your life will demand that you become uncomfortable with who you are right now. New income requires new habits. New L. Evils require new sacrifices. And that means letting go of the version of you that prioritizes ease over excellence. This is where people start negotiating with themselves. I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll take the risk once I save more. I'll push harder after things calm down. But things never calm down. Life never clears the schedule. And readiness is a lie comfort tells you to keep you still. Leverage is built by those who act despite the fear, those who choose pressure over pleasure, those who understand that short-term discomfort is not punishment, it's preparation. Every skill you avoid learning because it's hard, that's leverage waiting for you. Every responsibility you dodge because it feels heavy, that's leverage calling your name. .br. Every risk you keep postponing, that's leverage slipping through your fingers. .br. Comfort will keep you entertained. .br. Leverage will change your bloodline. And don't confuse struggle with suffering. Struggle with intention sharpens you. Suffery. NG without purpose drains you. Leverage-driven struggle has a destination. Comfort-driven routine just loops. So ask yourself the question most people are too afraid to face. Am I building a life that feels good or a life that works? Because the truth is, comfort is rented. Leverage is owned. And the moment you decide to choose growth over ease, responsibility over relief, and long-term power over short-term peace, everything begins to shift. .br. Not overnight. .br. Not painlessly, but permanently. You say you want more, but your life keeps answering for you, but not with words, with results. Every bank statement, every missed opportunity, every year that looks exactly like the last one, it's all speaking. And it's saying something you might not like. Your income is not a mystery. .br. It's a mirror. See, desire is easy. Everybody wants more. More money, more freedom, more peace. Wanting costs nothing. Saying one day feels good. Dreaming is safe. But the world doesn't reward what you want. It responds to what you decide. And there's a difference, don't miss this, between wishing and deciding. BR, wishing keeps all options open. DR, deciding, shuts doors. Wishing says, I hope. BR, deciding, says, I will, no matter what it costs. BR, most people never decide. They negotiate, they delay, they talk themselves into comfort and call it patience. But patience without action is just procrastination in a nicer suit. Let me slow this down, because this is where futures change. Every result in your life is the product of a decision you made or avoided. You decided what to tolerate. You decided what to settle for. You decided what was good enough. And those decisions, repeated daily, built the life you're standing in right now. That's not blame.br, that's power.br. Because if decisions built it, decisions can rebuild it. But here's the tension. Real decisions are uncomfortable. They don't feel inspiring at first. They feel heavy. They feel lonely. Because once you decide, you can't hide behind excuses anymore. When you decide to change your income, you're also deciding to change your habits. When you decide to grow, you're deciding to disappoint the old version of you. When you decide to rise, you're deciding to outgrow rooms that once applauded you. Bar, that's why people stay stuck. Not because they don't want more, but because they don't want the consequences of deciding. Decisions demand discipline. Decisions demand consistency. .br. Decisions demand that you show up on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. You don't decide once. You decide every morning. Every choice either reinforces the future you say you want or protects the comfort you say you're tired of. And the truth is, your life already proves what you're deciding now. If you say you want financial freedom but keep spending like comfort is the priority, that's a decision. If you say you want growth but avoid hard conversations and harder work, that's a decision. .er. If you say you want change but keep choosing familiar pain over unfamiliar effort, that's a decision. The world doesn't hear your words. Bar, it reads your behavior. There comes a moment in every person's life when wanting more becomes unbearable. When the cost of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of change. That's the moment where real decisions are born. Not from hype, but from hunger. And hunger changes how you move. When you decide, you stop waiting for permission. Bar, you stop asking for approval. You stop explaining yourself to people who aren't building anything. You start waking up different. .br, walking different, saying no to things you used to beg for. .br, because decision creates alignment, and alignment creates momentum. And this isn't about being perfect. It's about being resolved. You can stumble, but you don't turn back. You can struggle, but you don't quit. Because the decision has already been made. And once that decision is locked in, everything else becomes strategy. Let me tell you something spiritual and serious at the same time. Clarity is a form of faith. When you decide, you're saying, I trust that obedience to this path will produce fruit, even if I can't see it yet. That kind of decision moves the ground beneath you. Bar, so stop asking how badly you want it. That question has never changed anything. BR, ask instead, what am I willing to decide and stand on when it gets hard? Because desires fade. .br, emotions fluctuate. .br. But a decision made from your core and honored daily becomes destiny. Your income will change when your decisions do. .br, not before. .br, not magically. .br, but inevitably.